wrong for telling my friend that I've accidentally been sleeping with her fiance? How do you accidentally sleep with someone's fiance, especially a friend? Hey, I'm Boss Attorney Bree, a real life divorce attorney analyzing Reddit stories to determine who's legally wrong and who's morally wrong. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure you are subscribing and make sure you hype the video. Let's jump right into the first story. Am I wrong for telling my friend that I've accidentally been sleeping with her fiance? I'll preface this by saying that I'm 22 male, very, very gay. Okay, that can explain a lot. I was in high school when I met this friend, and she was the cool older kid the year above me. For all intents and purposes, we'll call her Sienna, 23 female. Now, after high school, I went to an out-of-state college while Sienna went to a local uni. We kind of lost touch other than the obligatory happy birthday and Merry Christmas text, so you can imagine my surprise when I got a text from my mom a few months ago saying that a wedding invitation from Sienna had gotten delivered to my parents' house. Okay, that makes sense. So it sounds like they were not very close friends and he just got an invite to her wedding. And luckily she invited him, otherwise she would have never found this out. Sure enough, a quick text to the lucky lady confirmed that she was getting married. Her longtime partner, Marcus, 25 male, had finally proposed. A summer wedding right in my hometown, right when I and some other friends would be back in town from uni. I was invited to one of the pre-wedding girls' nights because my life is that the two-dimensional comic relief gay side character. I guess we got wasted, like the kind of drunk where logic isn't even in the same dimension. So when the topic of other people in the hashtag Girl Squad's relationship came up, like the genius I was, I whipped out my phone to show them the hot guy I've been hooking up with as just a dumb summer fling, who turned out to be Marcus. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. I can see how it was an accident, how he accidentally told her. Kill me now to save me from mortification. Rightfully so, Sienna lost her mind. Fair, no criticism from me. But then she turned on me, started blaming me for ruining her wedding. For clarification, because I'm sure this will come up in the comments, no, the wedding invitation did not have any photos on it. It was one of those minimalistic designs with over-the-top calligraphy, that's it. Her socials only feature her. I had no way of knowing what he looked like. So of course, they were not close friends for him to actually know who her fiance was. He was just going to the wedding to be supportive at this point. I don't personally think I was at fault here, but here is where I think I messed up. I very loudly into the entire club drunkenly said, "It's not my fault your cheating fiance likes to get his back blown out, Sienna." Oh my gosh. I was not expected to read that. Although clever, that probably was not the best comeback to come with when she's finding out that her fiance is cheating on her with a man at that. I feel absolutely awful. I don't want to be the other woman, technically guy, but you get it. And I certainly don't want to hurt a friend like that. I've tried apologizing 1,000 times, but she's not interested in talking to me, which I totally get. When confronted, he confessed to not only hooking up with me, but also 8 different guys over the course of their 4-year relationship. The wedding has been called off. Am I wrong? I am happy that they called off the wedding, but before I get into my analysis on the situation, make sure you guys are commenting down below. We're going to check out some of the Reddit comments and then we'll get into the analysis. First comment says, when confronted, he confessed to not only hooking up with me, but also 8 different guys over the course of their 4-year relationship. The wedding has been called off. Yikes, you helped her dodge a bullet for sure. She's upset now, but I hope that someday she realizes it was all for her the best, not the a-hole. I definitely agree with that comment because he was just doing this all willy-nilly. It wasn't even just OP he was doing this with. Someone else says, not the a-hole, because how were you supposed to know? I do feel sorry for Sienna though. I think we all can feel sorry for her. Your fiance is doing something behind your back that you're not expecting. Completely wrong. You should not be cheating on your partner before marriage. Next comment says, she needs a scapegoat for her pain and betrayal, and you were sitting right there. What you said might have been a bit over the top, it really was, but the truth nevertheless. Let her be and step back and don't feel bad. You're the innocent party here. Next comment says, She needs to get tested for diseases if she thought they were monogamous. Exactly. If he's cheating with 8 people over the course of 4 years, that's just who he admitted to. He didn't even admit to if there were others. All right, so let's jump into the analysis. As you know, I am a California divorce attorney, so we are going to be talking about this under California law. Although this is not a divorce story because the people were never married, they are just fiancés, we're going to talk about how cheating can play a role in getting a divorce and how this lady really dodged a bullet because her friend accidentally told her that he was accidentally sleeping with her fiance, which just sounds like a whole mess altogether. So let's jump into the analysis. Under California law, there is no remedy in getting a divorce if your spouse cheats. Luckily, she found out about this before she got married, so she never had to learn this the hard way. There are only 2 grounds for divorce in California, which is irreconcilable differences or if someone has become incapacitated and they can't make decisions for themselves. Most people get divorced under irreconcilable differences. Cheating would not have gotten her more in the divorce or less in the divorce. It would have just been the same heartbreak that she's experiencing as a fiance. And now let's jump into the overall verdict. OP is not the a-hole. Now, his comment in response to Sienna finding out is pretty over the top and kind of an a-hole move. But overall, at least he told her, at least she invited him to the wedding, at least she invited him to the bachelorette party, or else she probably would have never found out because he has been doing this for the entire 4 years. He has gotten away with 8 other guys he's cheated with. She clearly wasn't finding out from anybody else. So it is so good that she actually invited him. And although she might be hurt right now, at least she got the truth out of this friend. And I would imagine that OP would have been a little bit more compassionate had he not been consuming alcohol. But yeah, his response was very funny. Overall, OP is not the a-hole in this situation. The fiance is. But of course, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let's jump into the next story. Am I wrong for wanting to divorce my wife after a couple of months of marriage because she hid contact from her ex hookup? Yeah, you cannot be communicating with people your spouse does not expect you to communicate. Let's jump right into the story. Am I wrong for wanting to divorce my wife after a couple of months of marriage because she hid contact from her ex hookup? My wife, 28 female, and I, 32 male, have been together for 2 years and got married a couple of months ago. Overall, things seem great, but I recently discovered a situation involving her professional life that has completely shattered my trust. Trust is the #1 thing in a relationship. If you don't have that, you don't have a relationship. When we were dating, my wife mentioned a guy in her professional network who she claimed was a one-off hookup from years ago. What she hid from me and what I later found out was that he wasn't just a random hookup. What was he then? He was an affair partner she had cheated with during her previous relationship. Both of them were in a long-term relationship. Oh yeah, that's pretty bad. Which was the actual reason that the relationship ended. She lied to me about why her ex broke up with her to cover it up. That is so bad. It is very deceitful. At the time, believing he was just an old irrelevant hookup, I simply asked her to maintain healthy boundaries and keep her distance if they ever cross paths at professional events, because what can he really do about her going to a professional event and her past hookup being there? So I think he's very reasonable by just saying to keep boundaries. Recently, my wife was looking for part-time remote work before starting her next career phase. She attended a professional conference, which I later discovered this former affair partner was also present. They called and he invited her to drop by the conference the next day to discuss it further. She went, met up with him and other colleagues at the venue, and attended the evening networking event. Instead of being straightforward with me, she spent days actively strategizing how to manipulate the story. In private messages, she calculated how to frame the offer as the female colleague's idea, so I wouldn't find out that he was the one who called her directly and pitched it. She admitted to feeling shady and like she was doing something really wrong, but decided to withhold the truth anyways to avoid making things weird. Yeah, if you feel like you have to hide things from your partner, then you are doing something wrong. I would consider that micro cheating at the very least. We have only been married for a couple of months. She claims nothing physical happened this time, that the job was just a great flexible opportunity and that she was protecting my feelings. No, you don't get to protect people's feelings. You tell them the truth and they are allowed to feel how they are feeling at the moment. However, to me, which I was clear about from the beginning and we communicated it very well, taking private calls from a past affair partner, friends with benefits, meeting him at an event, and calculating a cover story to hide his involvement breaks the fundamental trust in our marriage, especially after lying about their past history to begin with. I no longer feel like I can believe anything she tells me. Am I wrong for feeling like this pattern of calculated deception is a deal breaker and wanting to end the marriage a couple months in? Edit. If I had known from the beginning that she cheated on her ex, I would have never gotten into this relationship. That's something I always want to make clear on first dates. So he does not do any cheating. Of course, as always, let me know your comments down below. Before we get into my analysis on the situation, we are going to check out some of the Reddit comments and then jump into the analysis. First comment says, "You know what is happening, right? She is already doing the groundwork, so she has an excuse to be around him, which makes me believe she is actually planning to cheat already. Not the a-hole, I would cut my losses." I don't know if we can jump to that conclusion, but it can let you know that she is willing to be sneaky when situations like this arise in the future. Next comment, "Not the a-hole. She hasn't changed." I can agree with that. She cheated on the last guy with him and she's lying to her new husband about the same guy. I wouldn't be in a relationship with a cheater. My advice is to get out now. And he didn't want to be in a relationship with a cheater, just so that's clear. He didn't know that she cheated on the previous partner with the same guy. A 2-month mistake, no kids, no alimony. She will ruin your life. She's a lying cheater. You would be a fool to ever trust her. Jeez, that was abrasive, but I can definitely understand where they're coming from. Next comment says, "Not the a-hole. Wow, married a few months and she's already lying to you about other men. At least she showed you her colors early." Exactly. So if he stays, he's going to be the one making a big mistake and he can't blame anyone but himself if she cheats on him later. Next comment says, "Come on, dude, you can't believe that typing it out. She went to a nighttime networking event to meet with the dude she cheated on her ex with and hid it from you? Really, man?" Okay, when you put it like that, that does sound like it's a lie from the beginning. I believed the actual networking event, but when they put it like that, it makes me question my belief. All right, so let's jump into the analysis. As we talked about earlier, cheating is not a basis for divorce, although it does lead to a lot of divorces because when you get married, you expect that person to be loyal and monogamous to you unless you guys agree to something otherwise. It doesn't sound like these people agreed to something otherwise. She basically lied to him at the very beginning of the relationship and wasted 2 years of his life because he could have made the decision not to be with her, as he let us know he would not have been with her had he known that she cheated on the previous partner. Not even that if she cheated on the previous partner with this particular guy, but that she cheated in general. She concealed that she cheated on the previous guy. She concealed that this guy that is in her profession was an affair partner. And now she's concealing that he was the one that reached out to her about the networking event. I have to agree with the comments in that she has not changed one bit. So let's jump into the verdict. The overall verdict in this situation is that OP is not the a-hole and that OP should probably cut his losses and get out of this marriage as soon as possible. Although in other states, cheating is a basis for a divorce where you can get more assets, these people were only married for a couple of months. It's easier for him to just cut his losses and move on with his life. But if you haven't already, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and also hype the video because we are trying to grow the channel. We are on the journey to 15,000 subs and we need your help to get there. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure you watch the next video and I will see you all next time. Bye.